Battenberg.
Remington.
Battingberg.
Remington.
Remington multi.
Where are you? You're there.
Battenberg.
Remington.
Bottle. Puck, puck. It's my hairline today. I feel like my bouffant is not particularly
Shit, mate.
uplifted. Yours looks alright though.
Thanks.
Sponsored by Bimoto.
Bonjour.
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 Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, madame.
Really? Au service.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So,
Bueno. Bueno instante.
we made it home.
Just
Yeah.
before the corona kicked in. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
So, we've been, up to this point, fairly nice to each other.
I've been biting my tongue for about every 3 or 4 minutes. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that often?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to unleash. I feel like I've had a build up,
Yeah.
and now I'm ready to splurge.
Okay. Well, let me just start off by saying, you know, I think as much as I think the K6 should win, I was actually hoping for a catastrophic failure for the R1.
Yes.
Or something, because let's face it, I lost the BBB when I bought the bike. That was the main issue.
That was your problem.
That was the main problem.
Yeah, you bought the wrong bike.
Yeah, I bought the very wrong.
Well, hang on. It's not the wrong bike, as in brand and
No,
model.
no.
It's just that one
Yeah.
was the wrong bike.
Yeah. Look, I think just to clarify, and again we'll say it, the reason why it was so delayed it wasn't because of this bike.
No.
It wasn't because
Not
of this
just
bike.
because of it.
You know,
No.
both weren't ready at the time we had to leave. So the next available slot was Cartagena, and we had to pick a track. And anyway, so at the same time, yes, we had a lot of issues with it. It nearly broke James. So it's a very naughty little sausage.
Yeah. So hang on. So does that mean then that you're accepting defeat?
Well, no, I'm not.
Oh.
No, far from it. I mean,
But you just basically said, I lost this BBB when I bought that bike?
look, I'm not going to admit defeat just like that, am I?
No. I was surprised. Because you do like to cling on. The title of this series is called The Budget Bike Battle. So
And it's still a budget bike battle.
yes, it
okay?
is. Yeah.
God.
It is just the budget just got bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, budget is quite important.
Yeah.
And I think we both made similar errors, some more disastrous than others, about trying to find the best historic model in our memory for the lowest price.
Yeah.
And that really, you suffered massively with that. I suffered quite a lot with that.
Yeah.
Should have just bought a 2004, 2003 one and just gone, actually, that's fine. But the budget is quite important, and you did spend quite a lot of money.
I didn't spend that much more than you. The issue was the hours spent on the bike. That was the issue. I didn't spend. I think I only spent a couple $100 more than you.
I don't know about
Because
that.
after we totted it up at
we did
GHS.
we did tot it
and
up,
after
yeah.
that, I had to buy an 80 quid radiator,
Yeah.
a £30 oil cooler, a caliper, which was 40 something 50 quid.
A Brembo Costa Corta master cylinder.
Yeah. So
Which is like 280 quid or something.
so we're looking at roughly about 400 quid.
A new ignition set as well.
Yeah.
And you're also very lucky that James has an Aladdin's cave
Yeah.
of Suzuki bits. Hence why that bike's got a K3 crank in it.
No, K3 crank.
Yeah.
Hasn't got a K3 crank, mate.
I think that's what.
No, it hasn't.
Are you sure?
No, I think you're getting confused.
Camshaft. Sorry. How foolish of me. K3 camshaft
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
slightly different than a crank.
Okay, but anyway, a
Yeah.
K3 camshaft in it.
It hasn't anyway, because they put the original one back in.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's
Yeah.
had.
Yes.
So fortunate. So James at JHS, obviously they've raced Suzukis for years
Yeah.
and years and years. So they have a lot of stuff. So that helped you.
Oh, massively. Yeah. And the fact that he knows them inside out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
as I said, if we're talking budgets for bikes themselves on parts, there's not a massive amount in it. But the big issue was the labour and the pain and torture and labour costs that went into that K6.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and I think it's considerably higher. I think you're at least 700 quid more.
No.
At minimum.
No.
We've had 2 sets of wheels as well because they're all bent.
That was done.
and
That was
buckled.
done before the anyway.
And here's the other bit. I've actually sold some bits that I took off this bike.
Right, okay.
So I sold the big Wanger exhausts, 160 quid.
Yeah.
I sold the calipers on eBay. I sold the other set of exhausts. So I've actually pulled back £380 back into the budget for that.
And I've got a newsflash here. We've
Go on.
sold one of the ECUs and loom.
Yeah.
We've sold the wheels.
Yeah.
So Will sold, I don't know how he sold the wheels.
Bent wheels.
The bent wheels, yeah. And yeah, you know, so it's much of a muchness. Much of a muchness.
Okay. One of the 5 ECUs that you bought.
One of the 5, yeah.
How many looms?
3.
3 looms.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think, but overall, budget, the R1 has come in under budget.
Yes. Yeah, well, not under budget, but it's coming
No,
under
it's
budget.
coming under
Yeah.
that budget.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
+1 for the R1.
1-2, buckle my fuck. So on to probably the part I was fearing most was the road ride, and I'm not going to lie, I struggled. Obviously, we have no seat. The pegs are very high, and we kind of skirted around the grey area for legality in France, so which is why I had to buy the DRLs. Now, the law says you have to have DRLs, so I got some DRLs.
Torches.
I'm legal.
Yeah, but there
Illegal.
were
Yeah.
torches gaffer taped to the side of the fairing.
Yeah.
Just so we know.
It's legal, mate.
That's
Yeah.
fine, that's
Yeah.
fine. But they did start wobbling, and they
Yeah.
were set on the Chinese setting of automatic flash. So you're actually riding along for most of it, just
Yeah.
going strobing,
Yeah.
which was quite amusing. It made me smile, so that was good.
But yeah, the road ride in general, I mean, look, you know, that is set up as an adventure superbike. isn't it?
Adventure Dad, yeah.
Yeah, Adventure Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, you know, I knew I don't like being in pain on the road.
No.
You know, I'll come to the track stuff in a minute, but it was easily going to win the road stuff. It was like sat navs, tall screen, extra little flappy thing. I don't know where that's gone now. My little bag of goodies, which you did delve into several times for some. Got a gaffer tape. We need to
WD-40.
take WD-40, cable ties,
Yeah.
all that stuff, and that. Like I've toured on my own quite a lot in Europe, and that is the stuff which makes your day bearable in bad weather or utterly shit if you don't have. So for me, I was like, that's what I want. Even if we were struggling for a support vehicle at the time, so it's like shit, we might actually
Let's do the whole lot ourselves.
have to do the whole lot. And if there's a problem, I don't want to be stuck on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So I made sure that I had as much creature comfort as
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
And it was slightly more fuel efficient.
I don't know.
Not a lot, but
No.
slightly.
But that's because I opened the throttle more. I got more power, like vastly more. And obviously, there was the issue with, or the first issue that we came across was with the brakes with this bike, and it was the only part that I didn't change pretty much on this bike, and that's the part that failed us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the road ride again. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Also, the bar end fell off on the motorway.
Yeah,
Almost killed me.
Well, yes, and it almost killed me because you were
Because I
panicking.
saw something
Yeah.
fall off the side of his. I don't think I was rolling at the time, but I saw something. I was like, what? What was that? So I was riding around, going, is it a wheel nut? Of course, we didn't stop and check. But we're like, oh, it'll be fine. But yeah, when we did finally stop, I was like, it's the bar end.
But yeah, a bar end's a bar end.
It is.
Yeah.
But at least it balanced itself out, because
It did.
a few days later, the other one fell out.
On track. Anyway.
On track.
Yeah.
And also, I mentioned the no side stand thing was a pathetic annoyance, and it was very frustrating for me as well as you, I think, because I had to hold your bike several times while you were doing stuff. But you know, that's what mates are for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I did ride, because we did swap on the road, so I did ride that. Yeah, it did. It actually, to be fair, in its defence, the engine is so much more characterful.
Yes.
That it was more enjoyable.
Oh, definitely.
For that part of it.
Yeah. I still wouldn't have swapped.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Even though we had to go and buy sponges and gaffer tape them onto your seat because you couldn't bear to sit on it any longer.
My piles were in a critical state.
They were critical. You had no mirrors, which again is a.
That was probably the biggest issue.
It's like, oh, is there someone behind me? I don't know. I don't want to look round because I don't want anyone to think I'm like looking at them. And then you'll be there for 5 minutes. Then you'll get the courage up, look round, and there's no one there, and you go, oh, there's no one there anyway.
Oh God.
So So quite a lot of negative road points on that.
Yeah, it depends which way you look at it. It depends how subjective you're being.
Well, barely legal, extremely uncomfortable. It broke, caliper seized. Also, no headlight. And when we got into Cartagena, we were running late because we had a nightmare in the mountains. And that bike did have to go in the van.
It did.
For the last stretch.
Yeah.
So that is the ultimate crime. I mean, we assessed, should we run the DRLs? But it was proper dangerous.
Yeah.
So, so again, massive negative points. Sorry, buddy. And the R1 soldiered on.
Soldiered on.
Got into,
I mean, just about.
At this point, there was no issue.
Exactly. No, exactly. No issues whatsoever. No, exactly.
Yo, we are on the racetrack.
We arrived in Cartagena, ready, with the sun out. We met James in our bed. Lovely little James.
And thank the Lord for James, because as it turned out, he came for a holiday. It was a busman's holiday because he came and he worked pretty
really,
much
really
tirelessly
hard.
every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's had less work to do on the BSB grid.
Yeah. And of course, Cartagena, it's not a circuit we both know that well. It was kind of fairly new, but I was still looking forward to it because, as I kept banging on about, this track bike was built for the track. And in theory, it should have been pretty straightforward. Well, I was hoping it was straightforward. There was still an element of doubt in my mind about the brakes, but I knew the K6 on the road down the track at the time, in their era, was a much better bike than the R1, and I was just, it felt good, it felt decent, the engine felt strong, the chassis felt sweet. Unfortunately, I only lasted, well, I didn't even last a lap because the because the brake seal failed.
Yeah.
There's no seals in there at the moment, it's just running those sort of stock dust seals.
Yeah, so split the caliper basically.
Yeah, split the caliper.
Rip the dust seals out and just use the main seal.
Yeah. Which works fine, it got us to the end of the event.
It got us through.
Unlike your bike, so.
Yeah, it did.
Barely.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Come on, keep pimping yours up.
And of course, later that day we had the endurance race, didn't we?
Yep. It's worth mentioning that you didn't manage to get out on track at all in the morning. So
no.
It was
No.
Yeah. Whereas I managed to go out on the S22s and get my eye in a little bit.
Yeah.
We ran both bikes in the endurance race, so we swapped over every stint, and then the second stint, about 3 or 4 laps in, this started developing a little stutter, and it was, which again you've probably seen all in the build up to this. Obviously didn't know what it was, and it was costing us about 4 seconds a lap. So came in, reserve Gixxer was on hand, and I'll say, do you know what? That was good. That bike was on hand. We couldn't brake on it because the brakes were really bad, but it got us to the end, and that's the first ever semi-competitive race I've ever been in, ever.
Is it?
And the rush when I crossed that line
On the Gixxer. Yeah.
was amazing. Unfortunately, the camera died, but I did have a coming together with another competitor, and I think they.
You smashed my Yoshi exhaust.
Well, no, he
yeah.
smashed it.
Well, you said to me you purposely ran into him.
I didn't say that at all.
You said
No, I said I purposely stuck to my line.
Okay, so
Well, not purposely. I stuck to my line, and I didn't know where. I thought he'd. So basically, he came up the inside on the brakes, because the brakes you can't brake on that. So he came up the inside, but went way too deep.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, took the normal line. So I came round. I didn't expect him to come back. I thought he'd gone in the gravel, and then he comes out of nowhere. I'm obviously looking over there, and hits the side of the bike.
And comes over and starts shouting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he called me loco, and I was like, I'm sorry, but he dented your bike,
right.
not me.
Okay.
So, if you want anyone to blame him.
Okay. So obviously later that evening, it was like, we're running around. Cartagena's not a big place, and the bike shops, should we say, are a little bit niche.
Yes.
So we were sort of running around.
Unless you've got a really shit scooter.
Yeah. So, trying to find brake pads for that, and spark plugs and other something, whatever we could think of that might fix that.
Spark plugs.
Coils. Anyway, that wasn't going to happen. So we eventually found some spark plugs and some brakes. I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to be it, amazing. And second day, I'm not going to lie, it was much better with those brake pads. And I was obviously a fair bit quicker. You went, obviously the bike was okay for a while, and then it went back to the...
But yeah, as we've probably explained already, it turns out to, rather than the plug, it was the coil stick which would just lift off the plug. So it's really frustrating. You just almost needed to wedge it in. So if you pushed it down, you'd get a good 10 laps. But then the older and longer it went on and more vibraty it got, it would just pop off, and then you'd be in trouble.
And of course, on the last day, I had the issue with the shift lever. The bolt fell out.
Well, this was in the Superbike race, wasn't it?
This was in the Superbike race.
So this is a 12 lapper plus a 2-lap sighting laps. And the sighting laps are not slow, are they?
No.
They are 95% race
definitely.
pace lap.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
So 14 laps of hardcore track action. And how many did you do? One.
I did 2 sighting laps, and then 3 laps.
Yeah.
1 lap.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I came past you, I was so focused, I was like, whatever, there he is. Don't care. Like, this is the race, this is it. And and then obviously about 7 laps in, the stutter started coming. I was like, no! And I was doing so well. I was like, oh my God. And then, the joy, the elation of crossing the line then, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. So that was out of all of the bikes that were
Everything.
there.
Yeah, the best of the best.
Open class, free, run whatever you want. 9th?
Yes.
And I should have brought the trophy.
Oh.
Because I got 2 trophies that session.
Yeah, but you only got 2 because you finished one of the races on that bike.
So
it really should be 1 trophy.
Why?
Because if you didn't have a teammate that would lend you a bike, you would have only had 1 trophy.
Yeah, I'd have just carried on. I'd just done that.
And we wouldn't have had a trophy.
Well, my fast laps was what got us in the trophy spot. Anyway.
Wow.
So basically that's the end of that. I don't need to talk about day 3, and then we went to Benidorm.
Well, funny you say that, Chris, because day 3 came, and obviously, yes, we had some issues with the gear lever, but again, I took my fastest lap on pretty much the second to last lap I ever rode, and a 42.2 around there on this. Was it 42 or was it 41?
42.
42 too. Unbelievable. And just imagine if I had an Olin shock in the back, God forbid, one of them on a budget bike battle. If I had an Olin shock in the back of that.
Hang on, your brake disc cost more than my shock did, mate.
If I had an Olin shock in the back of that, and we've had someone that could bleed the brakes properly in there, and the issue is those discs are now cooked thanks to the issues we had with the days before. So the brakes, the whole thing fell apart. But to do a 42 round there on a 15-year-old bike with a wanky shock and no brakes, I mean, it just deserves an encore.
That's your.
No, I'm just going to come on to that. So, I mean, how was your last day, Chris?
43 on this.
Yeah.
Which, bear in mind, it's the rider that does most of the lap time, not necessarily the material. If you were on that bike, I think you would have done a 41 on that, without a shadow of a doubt, because the brakes worked until the very last day. The brakes worked. The chassis was way more predictable.
I'm sorry, I'd much rather have that chassis than that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you would
the suspension. Yes,
you're about, on average, 2 seconds quicker than me everywhere we go. And that's only just got up to 2 seconds. It used to be like 4 seconds, 5 seconds. So to be only a second apart, you've got to say that you could have done a faster lap on that because of your 10 years of superbike experience. That's the first race I've ever done, ever in my life. So you've got to sort of step back from that. Yes, it posted the fastest time, sure, but I think you would have posted the fastest time on that.
So, but how did we end the day?
Well, I had in the race, in the Crazy Old Man race, which I was running in 5th, and James seems to think it might have been, what do they call it? Knock.
So you had a bit of a tank slapper.
Bit of a tank slapper, and it pushes the pads back against the calipers, against the pots, and then I got to turn 1 and there was just nothing there.
And had the carrot dangling in front of you, who's your mate from Argentina, wherever he was from.
So, Diego.
Diego.
So Diego passed me on the straight on an R6 because I was down to the third cylinder. I was like, damn it. But I broke exactly the same time as I would normally, and I was probably doing 20 mile an hour slower.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was it wasn't a, of course, yeah, you could say it's a pilot error, but I don't believe it was down to a pilot error. It was down to just there being no brakes. And at one point I got air over someone else's like wake. And there was no chance of holding it. But in defense of the bike, picked it out of the gravel, got the stones out of the shifter and all that sort of stuff, and rode it to Benidorm.
And we rode to Benidorm, yeah.
So, you know, I can't be too disappointed. I'm very disappointed that I lost my third trophy.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, obviously with the issues with the Suzuki and the issues with the R1, it's pretty hard. I mean, other than saying that was faster, it's pretty hard to quantify who won that because it was a bit of a mess for everyone. And don't get me wrong, standing on the podium and claiming our trophies was a beautiful event.
Yeah.
And I did shed a tear. But
we definitely both won out there, because then there was all sorts of people coming up to Benidorm garage going,
"Ooh la la!"
And they're like, "God, these bikes are old and crap." And like, "Yeah, we rode here from England." They're like, "What? I don't understand. You drove down in the van?" No, we rode them here. And they're like, "You're crazy. Loco." So I think we both won that, but I'm still going to say, because of the lap time and us being different qualities of rider,
you're still.
I still think that was a faster bike around the track.
That was. I mean,
and
I
it had less
ride
issues.
No.
I prefer to have a cylinder issue than a brake issue.
True, but I wouldn't say it had less. That had less issues.
It had one issue, which is
quite.
It had a loose coil stick, which you spent 600 quid before you even left.
I'm not prepared to lose a track because that was brilliant.
Well, that was better.
No, it wasn't.
You didn't ride it.
That finished the endurance race, mate. That finished the endurance race.
I'm the only one that rode both.
That finished the endurance race.
So would that have. I wanted to get higher up in the group and win.
That finished.
It was a team decision.
I'm not prepared to lose a track.
Okay,
no way.
But you had brake issues, which cost you the whole first morning.
Yeah.
Your gear lever linkage fell off in the race. Both of those were issues which stopped you riding the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Whereas mine was just a stutter.
And a crash.
But that's a different thing. That was just, that's just bad luck. It wasn't a crash.
I'm not losing the track, mate. Sorry.
It wasn't a crash. I went into the gravel and it just happened to fall over. Whereas you went in the gravel as well.
I did went in the gravel. Yeah, I did.
I think the R1 won it.
I think the K6 won it.
Well, how are we going to decide this? We need a third party.
I'll tell you what, James reckons the Suzuki won overall.
Well, why? How on earth would he have possibly said that? And when did he say it? Why did he say it?
He said it this morning.
Yeah, I bet he did.
He did?
I bet he did.
Ring him.
And that's, okay. I don't know. Agree to disagree. We call it a draw.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that just my, was that the chocolate cracking on my... So, okay then, so in summary, I think we all know what's happened really, don't we? Which is Team R1 has made the victory, hasn't it?
I'd say it's edged it.
So you'd say it's won?
It's edged it.
3-1. Well, it's been a good one, and
It's not.
well, for me it has.
There's two lessons here. One is don't buy a track bike that's road legal with daylight MOT on eBay and for $2,500 thinking you get a bargain. And the second is don't go out and buy the best bike you think you can get for that money, because it won't be the best bike. It'll be the newest or fastest. It's going to be think a couple of years older. Think wisely and use that head, because I wish I did that. Because the K6 is a better bike by quite a considerable margin.
Can I get on to gloating? How do I gloat? Because I know you hate losing so much.
Nearly as much as you.
Yeah. No, I think more. I think more. I think
No.
more.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's a good job I don't make a habit of losing, though, isn't it? So, what do I win then?
Nothing.
What about the K6?
We can't because someone else is going to win that, aren't they?
Interesting segue. Bimoto, don't forget, both of these bikes are available to win for absolutely free. All you've got to do is go to the link in the description, which is the Bimoto competition page, get a quote to insure your bike. Even if you're already insured with them, you can still do it. You'll still enter you into the competition to win either one of these. We don't know, it will be a draw. So
I mean, the first prize is obviously going to be the K6, second prize will be the R1, so.
Well, main prize, booby prize.
Yeah.
Mind you, you have got
Whatever you recommend.
really expensive calipers and a really nice master cylinder on it.
The caliper, the master cylinder won't be on it.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, is it just going to be a husk? Where the bar ends are gone. So yeah, so don't forget you can do that. And again, massive thank you to Bimoto. They came on board. They saw us struggling financially with this whole series because it's cost us a fortune to sort it out. So they came on board. So massive thank you. And genuinely, these bikes are insured with Bimoto. We use them all the time. We use track insurance for them as well. So any products you purchase through them, mention us, and we get a little bit of a kickback, and you get a little special backhander.
It's a three-way love triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that with an insurance company? Also, I want to thank Bridgestone. Again, S22s were provided by them. Fantastic all-round road tyre, particularly in the wet
Yes.
when we were in on that bridge,
Yeah.
freezing in the hail, and it was just awful.
In the horse service.
In the horse service, yeah. And then obviously the VO2s, which is the tyre of choice for our track bikes. Massive thank you to JHS Racing. I think that should come from you, actually, quite frankly.
Yeah, a massive thank you to James and everyone at JHS Racing, because obviously the hours to put into both bikes, and obviously the dyno time with the K6. So yeah, I mean, those boys put a lot of hours in, so without those guys we wouldn't be here, simple as that.
And I'd also like to say thank you to you guys. We'd also like to say thank you to you guys for purchasing all the BBB merch.
Yeah. Excuse
me, God, that garlic chicken. Fuck. Wow. That's better than the smell you did in here last time we were in here. So yeah, massive thank you to you and your continued support, all the members. Like, it's amazing. So I think everyone deserves a little round of applause. Is that your new way of round of applause?
Jazz hands. It's people who can't cope with noise and clapping. You have to go jazz hands. Jazz hands.
Everyone
Jazz
do jazz hands. So, but genuinely, what have I won?
Nothing.
Come on, there's got to be some sort of, because normally we have to fly back. I get to fly back, but it was my van that we had to take, so I had to drive back.
Pizza. I'll get you Domino's.
Yeah, I could.
I'd just smash a Domino's.
I've been. Well, you can't
Why not?
because you didn't win. Cool. Well, anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you, buddy.
It's the coronavirus.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well done.
Do you spit on your knuckles?
Yeah.
I had a wank with toothpaste once when I was a child. It was the worst thing I've ever done.
fresh.
Mate, it was so. You know when you get like that shower gel, which is like menthol, and it's horrible, and you get it on your bell end.
Stings a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Fucking like that times 1,000 toothpaste. Wow. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just going through the cupboards, like, what can I wank with? That'll do. Never again. I can't use menthol shower gel anymore. It's too haunting.